In a little cafe just the other side of the border, she was sitting there giving me looks that made my mouth water. So I started walking her way. She belonged to Batman Jose, and I knew, yes I knew I should leave. Then I heard her say, come a little bit closer, you're my kind of man, so big and so strong. Come a little bit closer, I'm all alone and the night is so long. Oh, we started to dance in my arms, she felt so inviting, and I just couldn't resist her, just a one little kiss so exciting. Then I heard the guitar.
Let's go fishing, I'm on a mission. It's so pretty, I'd sure hate to waste this chance. We'll find a shady little spot, not too cool, not too high, perfect for a little fishing.
Morning. Going fishing this morning, fishing the old man's tournament this morning, guys. See how we do. I see they've already let him go. I put in here at Scott Driver, so we'll see how we do this morning.
Well, I started out this morning and just started down the bank here and throwing topwater, and they was blowing up on. I lost 3 or 4 right off the bat, but and I ended up with 5 this morning. That they averaged about 2 pounds a piece. I mean, you don't catch no giants doing this. You're not gonna win the big tournament doing what I'm doing, but if you want to have fun, this is fun. I mean, I like a topwater bite first thing in the morning, and it's just enjoyable. And the weather has warmed up. I've warmed up real good, and now you can wear shorts in the morning. You don't have to bundle up. I think the cold weather is over here in South Florida. I think from here on out it's going to be fairly warm. Going out this morning, I seen the gators. You see the gators out like that, you know the warm weather's coming. It's here for good. I'm not sure how many they had in the tournament this morning. I just signed up for whoever put it in Scott Driver, and by the time I headed out, they'd already gone. You know, so that's all right. It makes no difference, you know. I use this. I always get in and use it for a kind of to hunt for fish too. When I take people out fishing, you know, somebody wants to go out on a tackle. You know, use tackle instead of wild shiners. And I can kind of pinpoint where some of the fish are staying, and especially first thing in the morning. That's what I say. If you're going to guide, you got to be on the water a lot. I mean, you can't beat time on the water, especially if people's paying you good money to go out there and do it. You got to get out there and find out what's going on. And all the guides there in Garrett's Tackle Shop do that. If you ever watch them, they're out there practicing. They're out there looking for fish when they're not. Don't have a guide party, they're still looking for fish. You know, they're out there, still doing their job. And that's why Garrett's guides are probably the best on the lake. I'm not exaggerating. Garrett Tackle guides are the best on the lake, hands down. I mean, them guys, they'll put you on fish. Larry, Randy, Buck, and Bob, and Butch, and Jack. I hope I didn't miss anybody. But yeah, they'll all put you on fish. You're just good fishing. Yeah, I just shut her off. I tell you what I do first thing in the morning, guys. I look for the birds. I look for the blue herrings. And if the blue herrings are there, then the shad's there. And if the shad's there, the bass are there. So it's just kind of like a food chain thing going on out there. You just got to kind of keep an eye out for them birds. Right, because they come off the roost. Them herrings, they come off the roost and they want to feed, especially early in the morning. One place I went down through there, I seen about 4 of them. I seen 4 of them right along the bank, and I caught a fish here, of course, and I've seen them blow them up on the bait fish, shad and minis and fry, and the shadder. The shadder is spawning right now too. They'll have several spawns this year through the summer. They'll have, and every time they come in to spawn, especially right before a full moon, the bass will just follow them in, which you just kind of got to keep an eye on that. That makes a better day fishing, So the birds are the fisherman's friend. They really are. I mean, they'll especially, you watch the seagulls, if they're diving down and grabbing, bait off the top of the water, and the blue herring and the other cranes are, feeding on the side of the bank or out in the river or out in the lake. There's got to be bait there. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, that's just, like I said, they're the fisherman's friend. I'm using a whopper plopper this morning. It's just well, you can cover a lot of country with it, and that's what I like to do. I mean, you can sit and throw fluke or wacky worm or stuff like that and just kind of get down the bank, but I like to cover a lot of territory. I mean, and I fish when I'm fishing first couple hours in the morning. I'm not looking for those fish that finesse fish, you might say. I'm looking for a fish that's pretty aggressive. I mean, I'm looking for the aggressive fish. But you gotta kind of get them early because there's so much feed in the river. They get their bellies full and they don't want to hit no more. And this is, buzzbait, whopper plopper, jitterbug, or anything. Sometimes it's not a feeding bite; it's just a reaction bite. And they don't want it. They just want to slap at it. But you can catch them like that. It's kind of like a jerk bait underneath the water. A lot of times they'll grab that jerk bait and just not to eat it, just to kill it. And I've seen that when I've been shiner fishing. Pull into a place and throw some shiners in for the customers, and they'll just come up and wallet on it and just kind of grab it and pull it and bob it under a little bit. Well, their bellies are full. They don't really want to feed. They just want to. There, I got one. The first one I got right there, right off the bat. It's not a bad fish. I mean, there's all about, like I said, I got 10 pounds there, almost 10 pounds. About 2 pounds a piece. If you're fishing a big time tournament, though, you don't want to fish for these fish. You want to go out and flip for them 7, 8 pounders. Because sometimes it's taking a 30 pound down to win a tournament. On Lake Okeechobee, I mean, I'm an old West Virginia boy, and I just like to catch fish. I don't care what size they are. I just like catching fish. This one here was hooked good. I had a hard time getting hooks out of him, and I got some triple grip, guys. Some triple grip hooks, triple hooks. I change them on all my baits, and I put them triple hooks or triple grip hooks on there. And like I said, they're a pain to get off, but they are grabbers. They'll grab that fish. And also, guys say, I don't know about that, but I'll tell you right now, that shrimp juice, I spray everything down with that shrimp juice, and I still say they can taste, they can smell, they can taste. They can feel the vibration with the lateral lines. Of course, then you add in their sight, and it's just, you're not going to miss that many, especially if they're feeding. Now, if they're like I said before, if they're just out there, a reaction bite, yeah, they're just going to flop at it. If their belly's full, they're just going to slop at it. But if they're feeding and you got that shrimp juice sprayed on there, just kind of like you biting into a candy bar. That sugar kind of gives you, wow, man, this is pretty good. Same way with these bass and crappie and everything else. You spray it down with that shrimp juice, and it will make a difference when they're feeding. They will. The only trouble of it is, if you use a worm or you use some kind of rubber, I have seen where they have a tendency to swallow it, where you not so much. You can see right there. I mean, I'll tell you how good that stuff is. And I don't get nothing for this. I mean, I'm just telling you what I see every day is when I'm throwing that whopper plopper. I've caught two, just with it stopped, and they ate it. They didn't slap at it. They ate it. And I'm telling you, they can taste that shrimp juice. They can taste. It's just like if you go out there and fish with we'll say a rubber worm. Okay, go out there with a swim bait. Okay, you'll go out there and you'll catch a few. All right, then you go get some shad, or you go get shiners. I'm talking wild shiners. And you fish with wild shiners, you're going to catch 10 times more fish than you are with that rubber bait. And they can taste. I mean, they can taste. I spray all my stuff down with it. I spray my rubber stuff down with it, and I spray everything down with it until it's dripping off of it. And I really believe in it. Especially with the artificial. But you can see, man, and the water's dropping. I went out the mouth. I ran out the mouth there after I got done, fishing up the river. And when I went out to the mouth, because I've been catching a few out there. And guys, you got to be careful. You got to be really careful because the water's down and the shell rocks sticking up everywhere. You got to be really careful. I mean, because it's bad right now. You'll tear a lower unit out and tear the bottom of your boat out if you're not careful. Well, you can see the sun's coming up now. It's starting to get a little bit brighter, and I'm paralleling the bank. You see how I'm going down there? I'm paralleling that bank. I'm trying to stay in the strike zone. And I'm going as quick as I can because what happens is they're like the crappie. After that sun gets up, they move out. They'll move out into the river because the water's so low. There's no place for them to hide. There's no place for them to hide. And where it's clear off the trees where they used to stay in the trees. It's clear off that. And what they'll do, watch this right here. See how that's just laying in the water right there. That popper just laying in the water. He come up and ate it. Now you tell me that shrimp juice don't do the trick. I picked the wacky worm up and I thought, well, I'll throw it over the wacky worm, and I just had that thing laying on top of the water. You can see the oil coming off of it. Now I think that fish right there come up and ate it. That shrimp juice is a real deal, guys. You can get that shrimp juice at Garrard's Tackle Shop down there, and I've always used it. I mean, I've used it since they've come out. I remember I think it's fish formula when they first come out back in the 70s, and sweet anise. I'll give you a good example, and if you don't think that the fish can't smell. When I was a young pup back in the 50s and 60s, I used to fish for carp. Okay, and when the water come up, and that little creek here below my house, when that water come up, I'd go down there and fish for carp. Nothing fights any harder than a big old carp. I'd take dough balls. I'd make dough balls out of flour and cornmeal and sugar and vanilla and sweet anise. Or you could take even, I remember used to taking cornflakes and make dough balls out of cornflakes. I'd put sugar in it, and I'd put sweet anise or vanilla in it. And a little bit of salt. I'd always put some salt in it too. And I'd make it into like a dough ball, and then I'd boil it where it'd get a little bit harder. Okay, them carp, they're coming up there. The water's muddy. All right, the water's muddy. Now, I'll give you, if you think about it, the water's muddy, and that the more sugar and sweet anise you put on there, the more carp you caught. So you don't think they can't smell? Them fish can smell and taste. I'm a believer in that. And the carp's the one that showed me. And catfish is another one. Okay, you take a catfish and you go out there with cut bait. Bloodier the better. The bloodier the better. They can sense that. They can sense it. If they can smell it, they can taste it. That's just that. That's, think about it. That's just the way it is. But the point I'm trying to make is, guys, I'm a believer in that shrimp juice on artificial baits. We'll take it from an old carp fisherman. I used to make dough balls back when I was a kid, back in the early 60s, and just carp fish. Especially when the water come up and was muddy in the creeks. But here I'm heading back down. I'm thinking, well, if I come up on somebody, I just pull my electric motor up and get down about a mile somewhere and get away from them and start fishing again. But it's one good thing is the snowbirds are going back. Okay, and there's not as many people on the river. Thank God. Guys, if you're coming down here to fish, I know you come down here in the wintertime, in January and February, but it's just a circus. I mean, people come down here right after the holidays. It's a circus down here. And you can catch fish, but it's just every walk of life comes down here and fishes in Florida in January and February. So if you got any other, I would wait till now when all the people from up north go back and come down and fish South Florida. But that's January and February. It's just a zoo. But I seen some people down there crappie fishing. Like I can always say, it kind of tickles me. They got them pontoon boats out there. They've got 20 poles on one side and 20 poles on the other side. I'm telling you. And they fish up at night. And me and a buddy of mine was talking this morning. Them's not fishermen. Them's harvesters. Them people are just harvesting the bait, the fish. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I still can't understand where that's enjoyment. I mean, it's just like I don't know. It's kind of like a sickness, you might say. They got to get all of it they can get. But I don't know. I don't understand that in people. But anyway, I pulled over here. I was come on down here and I seen that bird over there. And I'll just pull right over there because I know he's over there feeding. And I did. I went down through there and I think I caught one there right beside him. Anywhere you see them birds standing on the bank, you better go in there and fish because you're going to catch some fish. I mean, look at that sky. It was a clear blue sky this morning, guys. It was really nice. The temperature was good. And it has been hazy because they've been burning the trash, the sugar cane and stuff, and it's been laying on top of the lake here, but it's not too bad this morning. It was pretty good. There goes old Henry flying down through there. I didn't edit a lot out of these. I mean, I showed you, or I'm showing you how you just didn't catch one right after another. I mean, this is 3 hours of fishing what I've got here to 30 minutes, but still I left a good bit in there to show you. It's just you gotta cover a little bit of territory and to catch the fish. But you can slow down right there and flip a Cinco in there or a worm or a fluke and just take your time and catch them. Just there's one blew up on it. There we go. He blew up on it. How's the little guy? Again, them hooks grabbed a hold of him. Triple grip. I think they're Kevin Van Dam's or something made them, but they're good hooks. Look how flat that water is. Perfect morning for top water. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better morning this morning. And I'm not real sure what the moon's doing right now. I kind of watch the moon and the moon phase, and it's not too bad. I mean, like I always said, the 4 days after the full moon, golly, you just well leave the boat on the trailer. I mean, you're not going to get a lot of fish for some reason. But right before the full moon, 4 days before the full moon, it's the exact opposite. It has something to do with the pull of gravity, or I'm not sure, or whatever. It just has something to do with the moon. The fishing just gets better. Full moon, no, I'm not a big fan of the full moons in and 4 or 5 days afterwards. Yeah, I just pulled right over here, getting away from somebody. I mean, I was coming up on somebody. I let them have it. I just pulled right over here and made a cast, and wow, pow! He came up and blew up on it. I mean, it was pretty good fish. I'm talking about pretty good fish. I'm talking 2 pounds. Yeah. If you've never used that shrimp juice, that's not that much. I suggest you get a bottle of it, try it, and just see if it don't make a difference. There I am. I'm spraying everything down with it. It's called Bang, but it's really shrimp juice. I mean, there's shrimp, crawfish in there, and shad. It's got all of them's got a little bit of sweet anise in it. You smell it, it's got some sweet anise in it. Again, the carp will tell you they can taste. Them fish can taste that bait when you spray it on there. I spray my hard baits, and you'll see here I spray my rubber baits. Both of them. This is a toad here. I spray them both. I stopped at the bridge, and I flipped underneath the bridge here a little bit, and just didn't do any good. I went around there with a wacky worm and a shaky head. It just didn't catch. Now there's times you can pull in there and catch them dandies. I mean, because they release all them fish right there, Scott Driver and Tony there, and they'll come right up there and anchor on them concrete piers, especially when it starts getting hot like it is now. And you'll pull in there sometimes to catch some dandy bass. Not always. I mean, because the bait fish stay right around that structure too, and the crappie. And the big bass eat the crappie and the bluegill. I mean, that's one of their special. I'm talking 10 pounds, 9 pounds, 8 pounds. They'll eat them big crappie. But I didn't do any good, so I jerked up the motor and thought, well, I'll go down here and try Larry's hole. Larry's been catching some fish down here below here, and I thought, well, I'll go down here and try to see if I can get a big fish to go. I mean, I had some there, but shoot, Bob and Richard I think they had 20 pounds. They had one, I think, they had one 8.5 pounds. They had big fish, and they had 20 pounds of fish. So if I knowed that, I'd have just went in with what I have now. I mean, but if you watch Bob Owens, when he fishes the Old Timers Tournament, guys, I'm telling you, he's a guy hard to beat. Him and Rich are hard to beat. They don't fish for little fish. They go up there deep and fish deep water, and they catch big fish. And it's time on the water. I see Bob on the water all the time. I mean, he's out there. He just loves the fish. He loves the fish, but he also, when he's out there fishing for fun, he's looking for fish, you know. And the only ones they fish, only tournaments they fish is the Old Timers Tournament, because they're like me. We can't. You get a certain age, guys. You can't fish all day in them tournaments here. You just run out of gas about 10 o'clock. You know, just like everything else. I mean, you get tired. But yeah, Bob Owens is in it. I'm telling you, he's a good fisherman. He's hard to beat. And he won today. Him and Rich won today at the Old Timers Tournament. I cranked her up and I headed down to the mouth, and I thought I'll get down there and try it. But what's interesting is, I tell you, the water's going down, okay? The water's, like I said before, it's really dropping. They're taking it down to 11 foot. And it was almost 16 foot. And they're dropping everything down to 11 foot. When I run down there, and the wind was coming, it would be coming out of the north, blowing south. And where the cut was, where was catching fish at, the wind wasn't blowing that hard, but it was blowing hard enough, it was stirring it up, and everything was muddy. Amazing. I mean, it was just like mud. Coming right down there. Now, on the other side where I caught one here in a minute, it was clear because it was still, the lake water was kind of split around, but the water coming from the north end in there was muddy. This Lake Okeechobee is so important to watch the wind and which way it's blowing, and watch for clear water, because these fish, not like other fish. I mean, if it's murky, you're not going to catch no fish here. Don't ask me why, but you're not going to catch no fish here. You got to find clear water down here. Just the way they are. And I'll tell you something else too. Like you pull on a place at night, early in the morning, an hour before dark. I can't catch them. I mean, I can't catch bass right before dark. I mean, dark down here. If you gotta wait till it just gets daylight a little bit before they'll hit. Any other place you go, that you can take a topwater bait and catch them. But I use my electronics here, and I could see them out there. And like I said before, they had already fed. Most of them's already fed. They already had their belly full. But I threw it out there and just bounced it off the bottom a little bit, and I caught one. But it was a small one. And I thought, well, I could see the fish there. And I thought, well, I'll try to catch a couple good ones right here. Well, I sat there for about 20 minutes, and this guy in a pontoon boat come up there, and I don't know what he was thinking, but he run right over top where I was fishing. I mean, he come right up here and run right over top where I was fishing. And I don't know. I don't say nothing anymore. I just think we might be ignorant. I don't know. But anyway, I didn't get a bite after that, so I can blame it on that. Blame it on that guy in the pontoon boat, in the muddy water and the wind blowing. But yeah, I pulled up there and seen them there, and I threw it in there, and I caught one. And I thought, okay, this is all right. And as soon as I caught that one, that guy cranked up that motor and started to come up there and run right in where I was fishing. Oh well, it is what it is. But I had a good morning this morning. I mean, it was really enjoyable. Good Lord kind of blessed me this morning. Caught some nice fish, and just had a good time. You can see how far the water's down. Look over there on that bank here. It's all sand. There's a lot of zeros. I don't understand that. I mean, a lot of fish are hitting, but I see Rob there got a big one, 6.5 pound one. That's Seneca Rock, back in my home state. That's it. That right there is a little water bridge I fished off as a kid. There's my dad with one of my granddaughters.